Well, see, in the same way, a cult, and a cult is actually from what, I think the word cultus or something, and it just actually means culture. But there's a dark culture that wants you in it. And in order to get you in there, they have to give you their words so that you can enter their words. But when you enter their words, everything in the room is already decorated. It paints a hopeless future and existence. They showed you in the world, and especially in this great nation that I'm standing in today, they showed this world that they could steal an election. They showed this world they could bypass everything in existence and take a handful of fools and take a world. They showed they could do that. So people got used to it till they didn't even fight back. They didn't even resist. So they pushed it another level. Then the fake inauguration. And here comes the Hunger Games. And if you go and look at the story of the Hunger Games, they were handing you a scenario. They were handing you their vision of what's coming. From the dark winter to the Hunger Games, to this, to that. Everything was handed to everybody that day. But when they came out and did this, it had already been presented in your vision because the movies were so huge that people knew the stories of every one. And you know what the first Hunger Games was? It was a vision handed to the people. It caught them up. It caught them up in their minds, preparing them for an economic disaster. Now, why would it prepare them for an economic disaster? Stay with me now. So here it is. They present the first one. You know what the second one is? It's the second shot. You know what the third one is? How many of those things were there? You know what the third one is? It's the third shot. You know what the fourth one was? The booster. By that time, they were ready to come out with a fake inauguration. And Lady Gaga steps on the stage and begins to sing, looking at the Hunger Games under the flag of freedom. I know people, and everyone dressed in those colors, while you had the fake leader of this nation looking like this. Telling you, let the games begin. See, there are people on that realm that are bloodthirsty. They're bloodthirsty. I know that's hard for some people to believe. That people that wear nice suits are bloodthirsty. But you know, there are people that are bloodthirsty. Their albums, we used to call them albums, you know. CD covers, digital downloads that have a picture attached to them. How about that? Portray their bloodthirstiness. Just look at them. And simulating drinking it, wearing it, whatever. So then they come out and tell you on the fake inauguration day, they told the world, we won. And then the first thing they did was barricade the hill of freedom. Just like a movie. And then they come out and start pushing the jab. First the mask. Can't buy or sell without it. Then the jab. Then 2 jabs. Then 3 jabs. Then the booster. Now trying to push it further. It's mandated. Mandated. In other words, going to force you to hold your arm out while somebody jabs you. There are people that are bloodthirsty in this world. No, I'm not exaggerating. They're bloodthirsty. Real live vampires. The spirit of religion shocked into reality to the point where it's just bloodthirsty, playing on such things. So they blur the lines so that religion and politics seem to mingle somewhere. And you say, well, could that be so? Could it be so? Well, what about in the days of Rome? Rome, you remember there was you don't remember it, but you can read about it. They had a saying in those days called bread and circus. Bread and circus. Rome had become so depraved. It became so depraved. And it's amazing. They had the symbol of an eagle. They had a senate. But somehow or another, their Caesars became. And they started, economically, it was falling apart inside. It was just getting worse and worse and worse. And to detract people's attention from it, they did something called bread and circus. They would come into the circus, to the arena, and give all the people bread. And the people would eat, and they'd be able to get their minds off of it and watch entertainment of killing. They would sit and watch the entertainment of killing in front of them. Don't this all sound familiar to everybody? Is everybody just kind of kidding? And so they would watch people kill one another. They'd get them involved in it. It served a good purpose, you know. It distracted the people from all their woes because after all, they were eating entitlement bread. While they're watching people kill each other. And then they get all involved in it. Well, sure, we'll sell their lives for the bread. And when they would fight each other down to the ground, then suddenly they would look up and one would hold a sword or a spear over the other one and look up at Caesar, and he would either do this, let them live, or do this, kill them. And the people would all get involved, screaming in the arena. Bloodthirsty. There was a billionaire in Russia in 2017 actually posed a reality program that wasn't just Naked and Afraid. It was drop people out in that wilderness for 9 months at a time. And they said no guns, but anything else goes. And it said, but anything goes like murder, rape, anything. Whoever survived at the end of 9 months while they had so many thousand cameras on the forest to watch it all happen. And he said, we're not afraid if they break the law either. And while the elites sat around and watched it. Now this was set to come out. And a lot of it got dumbed down to Naked and Afraid and stuff like that. They're just testing it. People are bloodthirsty in high places.